Thank you for listening to Depictions Media Radio. As we've all heard by now, that there was a tragedy in Kamloops, BC, where we find the Indian Residential School, which of course is since closed, but a mass grave filled with the bodies of children. And we're going to hear Justin Trudeau make a statement about this, and whether that statement is enough or not, it is what he had to say about it. Along with that, he's introducing a new plan for Black entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs of African descent, in which they have access to monies to help run their businesses and to help this group of entrepreneurs thrive in the marketplace. It is a needed thing that we...
It's 16 hours.
The marketplace needs to find equality for all entrepreneurs so that all business owners can make their businesses thrive and help fuel our economy. Small business and entrepreneurship is what help find this country to greatness, and it is the same thing that will help continue to drive Canada to greatness in the global marketplace. So let's listen to what Justin Trudeau has to say, and listen to what the rest of the Assembly has to say about new accessibility to funding for underfunded entrepreneurs of African descent.
Marianne, avec les ministres Ahmed Hussein, avec Robert Paterson, certainement le secrétaire parlementaire Rachel Ben-Dayan et les députés, mes amis collègues Marci et Emmanuel Dubourg, bien sûr, et certainement notre Premier ministre, le très honorable Justin Trudeau. Nous savons que les barrières systémiques sont présentes dans toutes les sphères de notre société, incluant l'entrepreneuriat. Les personnes d'ascendance africaine continuent de faire face à des défis pour accéder à du financement, de démarrage, de renforcement de capacité et bien d'autres opportunités d'avancement. In a survey published earlier this week by the African Canadian Senate Group, Black entrepreneurs identified access to capital as their greatest barrier to success. 75% of over 300 entrepreneurs surveyed said that they needed to find $10,000 to support their business, and it would be difficult for them to do so. That is why today is so important. I'm thrilled to announce that starting today, the Black Entrepreneurship Program Loan Fund will begin accepting applications from Black entrepreneurs and business owners across the country through the Federation of African Canadian Economics, or FACE. It's incredible to think how far we have come in the last year. Thank you to everyone who is here, who have worked so hard to ensure that Black Entrepreneurship Program is a success, and that Black business support organizations who co-developed this fund, financial institutions, and Business Development Canada, they all deserve a hearty round of applause. Now, I will turn to my friend and colleague, Canada's Minister for Small Business, Export Promotion, and International Trade, the Honourable Mary Eng, to share more details. Mary?
Well, Greg, thank you so very much for that introduction. And for everyone who doesn't know, it's Greg's birthday. So happy birthday to you. What a great way to celebrate your birthday. And hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Before I begin, I would like to acknowledge that I am joining you from the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, the Chippewa, the Wendat peoples. For those of us who are settlers or even immigrants to Canada, it's important to recognize that Indigenous peoples have always been here and that we all have a role to play in reconciliation moving forward. I also want to take an opportunity to acknowledge the tragedy of the 215 children whose lives were taken in a Kamloops residential school discovered this past week. This past September, our government announced Canada's first ever Black Entrepreneurship Program. It is the result of years of hard work and much needed push for change from the Black entrepreneurs and Black-led business organizations. The challenges faced by Black business communities in COVID-19 existed well before this pandemic. Though our government has been delivering emergency pandemic supports to bridge businesses and workers through this pandemic, today is about long-term change. We know that many Black business owners and entrepreneurs face barriers to accessing capital to support their business. We know how important it is that we deliver solutions, co-develop with Black business organizations to address the unique needs of Black businesses and to ensure lasting change. We have an opportunity and a responsibility to address systemic barriers facing Black entrepreneurs. That's why I'm so excited to be here today to launch the Black Entrepreneurship Program's Loan Fund, being administered by FACE starting today. Black entrepreneurs and business owners across the country can apply through FACE for loans from $25,000 to $250,000. Altogether, this loan fund represents a total investment of $291.3 million to support the success of Black entrepreneurs. This is not a pandemic emergency support measure. This is long-term systemic change, and loan applications will be accepted on a rolling basis. For those in this first phase of the loan fund, our government is investing $33.3 million, and I'm excited to announce that one of our first partner financial institutions is the Business Development Bank of Canada, who will be investing $130 million. Also joining in this first phase is Vancity and Alterna Savings. We will get to phase 2 with the Royal Bank of Canada, BMO Financial Group, Scotiabank, CIBC, National Bank of Canada, TD, Vancity and Alterna, who have committed $128 million, and we're going to look forward to them joining us soon. I would like to thank all of the financial institutions for their hard work and dedication over the last 8 months, co-developing this very loan fund with Black business organizations, FACE, and the Government of Canada to change the way that Black entrepreneurs are supported in Canada. This program would not be possible without all of you, and I'm looking forward to continuing our work together now and into that second phase. Now, to qualify for the loan fund, businesses must be majority Black owned, have a business registration, a business plan, and recent financial statements or financial projections for startups. And if you're worried about criteria and the next steps, well, FACE will be there with you. They'll answer your questions, and in the coming weeks and months, they're going to be hosting webinars to answer questions directly from entrepreneurs. Now, in addition to this loan fund, I'm also very thrilled to announce today that we're also going to be launching a microloan pilot project in Ontario and British Columbia with credit unions, Alterna Savings, and Vancity, who are going to be providing micro-lending in the range of $10,000 to $25,000 to Black entrepreneurs in partnership with FACE. Entrepreneurs and businesses starting up have told us that they need smaller microloans, and we just can't wait to see the success of your pilot. And we're also going to look forward to welcoming more partners to expand this pilot across the country. Another critical pillar of the Black Entrepreneurship Program is the National Ecosystem Fund that will provide Black-owned businesses with critical mentorship and training. I know that many of you are eagerly awaiting an update, and we will be announcing the successful recipients of the Ecosystem Fund in the coming weeks. With today's announcement, the Black Entrepreneurship Program is now an over $400 million investment to address barriers facing Black entrepreneurs and Black-owned businesses in Canada. I want to repeat that we are not here announcing an emergency measure or a temporary solution. Our government is committed to working with Black businesses and entrepreneurs and with FACE and with financial institutions to better serve Black businesses and to change the way that our country supports them to get this critical access to financing. I want to thank everyone who has worked to make today possible, including FACE, the leadership of the Black Business Support Organizations, our incredible advisors in Harriet Thornhill and Christine Williams, the team at Innovation Science and Economic Development Canada, and our financial institutions, which have worked with us over the past 8 months to recognize that there is need for change and that we're committed to moving together, all of us as partners. I want to also thank my MP colleagues in Marci, Greg Fergus, Rachel Bandayan, Emmanuel Dubourg, for all of your hard work towards making this program a reality. Today's a big step, and it is the first of many. And I look forward to continuing to work towards meaningful change and a full implementation of the Black Entrepreneurship Program. With that, it is now my pleasure to introduce my good friend and one of the biggest champions and the biggest supporter of this program in our government, and who has been with us from day one when we launched the Black Entrepreneurship Program. Prime Minister, over to you.
Bonjour tout le monde. Hello everyone from Ottawa, unceded Algonquin territory. Thank you, Mary, for all your outstanding work as Minister of Small Business, Export Promotion and International Trade. It's great to be joined today by members of our own team and leaders within banks and organizations from across the country. I know you're all committed to addressing structural barriers faced by Black entrepreneurs and business owners, so thank you for being here this morning. But before I get into why we're here today, I want to talk about the heartbreaking news that 215 children were found buried at the former Kamloops Residential School. 215 children. Think of their loving families that they were ripped away from. Think of the communities that never saw them again. Think of their hopes, their dreams, their potential, of all they would have accomplished, all they would have become. All of that was taken away. These were children who deserved to be happy. Most of all, they deserved to be safe. As a dad, I can't imagine what it would feel like to have my kids taken away from me. And as Prime Minister, I'm appalled by the shameful policy that stole Indigenous children from their communities. Our thoughts are with Te Kamloops, Te Secwépemc First Nation, and with all Indigenous communities across Canada. Sadly, this is not an exception or an isolated incident. We're not going to hide from that. We have to acknowledge the truth. Residential schools were a reality, a tragedy that existed here in our country, and we have to own up to it. Kids were taken from their families, returned damaged, or not returned at all, with no explanations until this week. People are hurting, and we must be there for survivors. Later this afternoon, I'll be talking directly with Ministers Bennett, Miller, and Vandal, and with all ministers about the next and further things we need to do to support survivors and the community. We promised concrete action, and that's how we'll support survivors, families, and Indigenous peoples. Pour honorer les 215 enfants qui ont perdu la vie à l'ancien pensionnat de Kamloops, ainsi que les survivants des pensionnats et leurs familles, les drapeaux des édifices fédéraux seront en berne jusqu'à nouvel ordre. C'est important de faire de la sensibilisation et de l'éducation à propos de ce chapitre sombre de l'histoire de notre pays. L'héritage tragique des pensionnats est encore présent aujourd'hui et notre gouvernement va continuer d'être là pour soutenir avec des actions concrètes les survivants, leurs familles et leurs communautés partout au pays. And now I want to talk about today's announcement. Lately, we've been focusing a lot on building back better. Today, we're here to take yet another step in making that stronger, more equal future a reality for all Canadians. Whether it's the business organizations I met last year with Greg, or people like Fahie, who I spoke with Marci, about his growing coffee business, I've seen firsthand how hard you as Black entrepreneurs work and how much you do to create jobs and lift communities up. I've also heard you when you talk about the challenges you face too. And this includes accessing loans and capital from financial institutions. For far too long, Black Canadians have faced systemic barriers when it comes to starting or growing a business. That's why the Black Entrepreneurship Loan Fund launches today. This $291 million fund will allow Black entrepreneurs and business owners to access loans from $25,000 to $250,000. Today's announcement builds on the work we've already started through the first ever Black Entrepreneurship Program we announced last fall, a program that includes investments in everything from mentorship to financial planning. To Black entrepreneurs and business owners in Canada, our government has heard you, and we're working with you. Because we know that to rebuild an economy that works for everyone, we must break down the barriers you face to create real economic inclusion. On sait que les entrepreneurs des communautés noires ont le talent et les idées nécessaires pour aller loin. Aujourd'hui, avec le Fonds de prêt pour l'entrepreneuriat des communautés noires, on veut vous fournir encore plus d'outils pour réussir. Pour bâtir un pays qui fonctionne pour tout le monde, il faut s'assurer que notre économie soit inclusive. À ce sujet, j'aimerais remercier la Fédération africaine-canadienne de l'économie ainsi que les institutions financières qui travaillent en partenariat avec le gouvernement fédéral pour ce fonds. Avec vous, on va permettre à plus de gens d'avoir une chance égale de faire croître leur entreprise et de réaliser leurs rêves. Already, Black entrepreneurs and business owners contribute so much to our community and our economy. I think of the Black business owners I've met who talk not just about building their own future, but about giving back to those around them. With the right tools and support, these entrepreneurs will be able to create even more good jobs and even more opportunities for people across the country. Supporting Black businesses with long-term solutions is an important step forward to build the Canada we want, with a strong economy where everyone has a real and fair chance at success. L'annonce d'aujourd'hui est un pas dans la bonne direction, mais on sait qu'il reste beaucoup de travail à faire. On sait aussi que la pandémie a affecté la communauté noire de manière disproportionnée. Pendant qu'on combat le racisme systémique que vivent les Canadiens noirs dans le monde des affaires, on doit aussi continuer à travailler pour éliminer les inégalités ailleurs, par exemple dans le système de santé ou le système de justice. Plus que jamais, alors qu'on rebâtit notre économie, notre gouvernement va continuer d'être là pour s'assurer que la voix de tout le monde soit entendue. Merci. I'm glad now to pass it back to Marci.
Prime Minister, thank you so very, very much. Minister Ng, thank you. Greg, a big thank you to you as well. At this time, I want to pass things over to Tiffany Callender. Tiffany is from the Federation of African Canadian Entrepreneurs, or FACE. I want to thank her for her hard work. And Tiffany, you now have the floor.
Thank you, Marci. The Right Honourable Prime Minister Trudeau, the Honourable Minister Ng, members of Parliament, and distinguished guests. Mesdames et Messieurs, bonjour. I would like to acknowledge that we are here in Montreal on unceded Indigenous lands of the Mohawk Nation. It is my honor to take part in this historical announcement for the Black community of Canada. Today, my friends, it is an important day that marks the beginning of a new era for Black entrepreneurs. As CEO of the Federation of African Canadian Economics, I cannot help but be pleased and proud to see our efforts, our ambitions, and our hard work finally pay off. With today's announcement, it is the potential of Black entrepreneurs that has been unleashed. It is a powerful message that we are collectively sending. Today, we proclaim, you matter, your businesses are important, your prosperity is a priority, your contributions are vital, your individual success is our common success. I am very grateful, and I would like to thank, on behalf of the Black business community, the Canadian government and particularly Minister Ng, whom I personally witnessed champion this vision and fight to make equality before the law become equality in reality. Évidemment, je souhaite également remercier le très honorable Premier ministre Trudeau pour son implication dans ce dossier. Sa présence d'ailleurs parmi nous aujourd'hui témoigne de toute l'importance qu'il accorde à la place de la communauté noire du Canada. Merci, M. Trudeau. L'annonce d'aujourd'hui est le résultat d'un effort commun. C'est la création, il y a déjà un an, de la Fédération africaine-canadienne de l'économie sous l'impulsion du groupe 3737, de The Black Business and Professional Association, de l'Association de la communauté noire de Côte-des-Neiges, de la Black Business Initiative et du Africa Center. Let me thank Louis-Edgar Jean-François, Rustam Southwell, Nadine Spencer, and Sharif Haji for your dedication, your precious advice, your vision, and certainly for your trust, ambition, and determination that each one of you have expressed towards the Black business community, FACE, and the important initiative we are announcing today. A great deal of credit belongs to you, and I wanted to personally express my gratitude today and recognize you publicly for your exceptional contribution. Today's announcement represents the government, the financial institutions, and FACE's conversions of a vision. Exclusion and systemic racism that slows Black entrepreneurs is unacceptable. Their potential is too important to be ignored. Je souhaite également remercier la Banque de développement du Canada, la BDC, de sa contribution. Vous avoir comme partenaire dans cette aventure est un signal fort pour notre communauté. La Banque des entrepreneurs veut rejoindre tous les entrepreneurs. C'est tout à votre honneur. Nous sommes convaincus que ce partenariat s'inscrira dans la durée et s'enracinera dans le tissu économique du Canada. I want to recognize the contribution of Vancity and Alterna Savings. They've been partners since our beginning, and their involvement in the pilot program for microloans for Ontario and British Columbia regions will be an asset. Your contribution and your role you have played has been precious. We thank you for your efforts, we thank you for your efforts and the future that you will help in converting business ideas into successful businesses. It is also important to say that today marks the start of good news to come from major financial institutions. We look forward to rejoining the movement and championing change in business communities. We are optimistic about their capacities and capabilities to rebuild confidence and trust in the Black business community across the country, and we can't wait to announce our partnerships. Dear friends, the ball is in our court. We should seize this opportunity to ensure the growth of our businesses and of business networks and reach our wildest dreams. As of today, you'll be able to apply for your loan through Bobby, a platform we created specifically for this initiative. You'll be able to access it through our website at facecoalition.com. Au plaisir de fêter vos succès et réussites avec vous. Merci. Thank you.
Tiffany, thank you so much. You said it so well there when you said to the Black entrepreneurs in this country, we see you, we hear you, you matter. Thank you to you and your team. All the hard work has paid off. We're here. This is the day. I'd like to now invite Michael Denham from Business Development Canada to share a few words.
Great, thank you. And Prime Minister, Minister Ring, members of Parliament and colleagues, I just want you to know how pleased we are to be part of today's announcement and this initiative. C'est un plaisir d'être ici avec vous aujourd'hui et de nous tous à BDC. Nous sommes très, très contents de participer à cette initiative très importante. Et la diversité et l'inclusion font partie de notre stratégie d'affaires depuis longtemps. Diversity and inclusion has always been an important part of BDC strategies. And as Canada's Bank for Entrepreneurs, over the years, we've developed extensive strategies for women entrepreneurs, for Indigenous entrepreneurs, to give you a few examples. But over the past year, we've made it a priority to listen, to learn, and take action to support Black business owners. I signed the CEO pledge as part of the Black North Initiative, We partnered with regional and national organizations and supported the development of first-of-its-kind research into the impediments that Black business owners face. And we expanded a partnership with Futurepreneur to make it easier for young Black business owners to access the mentorship and the capital they need. But today, we take it one step further. Study after study show that the biggest challenge that Black entrepreneurs face is access to capital. Greg Fergus mentioned the recent survey where 75% of surveyed Black business owners indicate that if they needed to find $10,000 to support their business, it would be a challenge. And this must change. And that's why we're so proud to work with the Government of Canada and the Federation of African Canadian Economics to be the lead institutional investor in the Black Entrepreneurship Program Loan Fund. We hope the BDC's investment of $130 million today will increase access to capital for Black business owners. And we'll continue to work with all of our partners so that BDC continues to level the playing field and provide the financing and the resources that Black entrepreneurs need. Quant à nous à BDC, nous allons continuer de travailler avec nos partenaires afin de fournir le financement et les ressources dont les entrepreneurs noirs ont besoin. Merci et thank you.
Thank you so much. And now a word from Alterna, followed by Vancity.
Thank you, Marci. And I'm coming to you today from the unceded Algonquin territory in Ottawa. Alterna Savings is very proud to partner on the Loan Fund and kick off a microloan pilot program in Ontario. Credit unions have a long history in Canada of making an impact for underserved entrepreneurs through microlending. At Alterna, we have a deep understanding of community loan funds, having spent 20 years leading our benchmark community microfinance program. It works to tangibly address systemic barriers often faced by racialized business owners, helping them become economically and socially empowered. Currently, Alterna's entrepreneurship and professional development portfolio comprises 72% racialized Canadians, of whom 34% are Black. We know through our own program and external studies have validated that a gap in the market exists for Black entrepreneurs looking for loans under $25,000. We also seen firsthand how a loan of this size influences the success of starting and growing a business. This pilot program will continue the work we pioneered around microfinance and ensure equal access continues to be extended to the Black entrepreneurs. I want to thank FACE for their partnership in co-designing the Loan Fund. And I want to thank Prime Minister Trudeau, Minister Ng, the Black Caucus, for having the vision, acting and delivering on your commitment with today's launch. Together, we are taking an important step towards changing the experience for Black entrepreneurs in this country. We are truly honored to participate and lend our expertise.
Thank you so much, Rob. And now to Vancity and Christine. Christine, you've got the floor.
Good morning. Bonjour à tous. Thank you for the introduction, and thank you, Prime Minister and Minister Ng, for bringing us together today. I'm the CEO of Vancity, Canada's largest community-based, values-driven credit union. I'm based in Vancouver and gathering on unceded territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh people. I also wanted to take a moment to acknowledge the pain and hurt that so many are feeling at the recent discovery of the remains of the 215 children here in British Columbia at the Kamloops First Nation on the site of the Kamloops Indian Residential School. The trauma experienced at these institutions is not just in the past. Systemic racism continues today because the legacy of these traumatic events are baked into so many Canadian systems, and we need to do more than look back with regret. We need to examine and question the systems that exist today. One of the places where systemic barriers persist in Canada is in the decision around who gets access to capital, who gets approved for a loan, and who is declined. This is one of the most important drivers of equity and fairness in our economy. Why? Because it is the difference between opportunities being made available or not, between a successful business or not, between wealth creation or not. It isn't only what gets financed that matters for our future economy. it is absolutely also who gets financed that matters. And unfortunately, those decisions have traditionally not served everyone in Canada equally. And in fact, as we know, they have served to perpetuate inequity and have undermined the diversity of Canada's entrepreneurs and business leaders. Serving Canadians as a financial institution is a privilege and one that entails a great deal of social responsibility. I believe that financial leaders have a duty to work with others to dismantle the legacy of discrimination that has been perpetuated by the unequal availability of capital across our financial system. And the Black Entrepreneurship Loan Fund is part of this work. Partnering in this way is unusual for financial institutions, unusual for the private and public sectors, but dismantling systemic barriers requires a system, all of us, to work together. And that's why Vancity is proud to partner with FACE, with the Government of Canada, BDC, and Alterna to launch this important loan fund for Black entrepreneurs. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Christine and Rob and Michael. Really, we wouldn't be here today without you and your commitment to this program. So we appreciate you. A huge, huge thank you to you. So to close off today's announcement, perhaps we've saved the best to the last. I'd like to now introduce my friend and colleague, Emmanuel Dubourg, Member of Parliament for Bourassa.
Bonjour, merci. Good morning, bonjour tout le monde. Monsieur le Premier ministre, Madame la Ministre, chers collègues Marci and Greg, Madame, Messieurs les partenaires, je suis ravi de conclure l'annonce d'aujourd'hui. Merci d'abord au Premier ministre pour son leadership et je peux confirmer que depuis que je connais Monsieur Trudeau depuis 2007, il a toujours été à nos côtés. Donc, encore une fois, merci. Merci aussi à la ministre Ing, non seulement pour cette annonce, mais aussi pour votre travail au nom des petites entreprises et des entrepreneurs sous-représentés au Canada. Je tiens également à remercier FACE, la Fédération africaine-canadienne de l'économie, pour tout ce que vous avez fait pour contribuer au développement conjoint de ce fonds de prêt, afin de mieux servir les Noirs au Canada et pour tout ce que vous ferez dans les mois et les années à venir en tant que porte d'entrée du fonds de prêt pour les entrepreneurs noirs. And I also like to thank the BDC, Vancity et Alterna pour votre soutien et votre engagement envers le fonds de prêt pour l'entrepreneuriat des communautés noires. Votre soutien a rendu possible l'annonce historique d'aujourd'hui. Pendant trop longtemps, les Noirs au Canada ont été confrontés à des obstacles pour démarrer et développer leur entreprise. En tant que député de Bourassa, ici à Montréal, et membre de la communauté noire, je le sais très bien. L'annonce d'aujourd'hui est un grand pas en avant pour aider à combler le fossé. À l'avenir, notre gouvernement continuera de travailler avec tous nos partenaires du programme pour l'entrepreneuriat des communautés noires et de FACE pour s'assurer que nos politiques sont rédigées et mises en œuvre conjointement avec les communautés noires du Canada. Donc, mesdames, messieurs, ce n'est là qu'une de nombreuses étapes que nous sommes prêts à prendre pour atteindre un Canada plus inclusif et plus diversifié. Je vous remercie et Marci, je vous retourne le micro avec plaisir.
Merci beaucoup, Emmanuel. Thank you so very much. So I'm thinking that this is what putting action to a dream looks like. What an amazing day. I want to thank everybody for being here.
This show has been produced by Depictions Media. Please contact us at depictions.media for more information.